Brendan.
And I'm James.
We're from 1300 Web Pro. Have you ever been in a situation where somebody's trying to send you an email and no matter what they try, they just can't get it through to your inbox?
No, I get every email fine every time, Brendan.
I think you're lying. It could be that the sender's email or IP address has been blocked by a spam filter in some way. What are the reasons they could have been blocked by a spam filter, James?
The most common reason that mails are blocked by our servers, our mail servers, is due to being on a real-time blacklist. So what happens is our mail servers in Brisbane, they subscribe, or we subscribe them to some databases of known spammers. So we have 4 main databases that we use, and every time an email comes into our system from a remote source, so someone sends, say, from Hotmail or Gmail or a company email address outside of our customer base, sends an email to one of our clients, our mail server will actually say, is this IP address that the mail originated from a trusted IP address? The remote database will then say either yes, it's all good, or no, we know that a bunch of spam or virus-laden email has been sent from that IP, so you should reject it. So we reject things based on these real-time blacklists, and that's a really common thing that'll happen.
So just go over again how you actually get onto the blacklist in the first place.
So typically, it's based on the IP address of the mail server and/or the IP address of the end computer or device that is used to send the email. So a really obvious one would be if I got a virus on my computer and that virus was using my computer's resources to send out spam, that's going to get me on a blacklist for sure. Another scenario we see is if customer A of Telstra's ISP Big Pond has a virus, they shut their computer down, customer B turns their computer on in a different spot, Telstra then allocates them that same IP address, they're actually going to have a problem because of the actions of customer A a few days ago. Sometimes with bigger providers like Telstra and Big Pond, we'll even just see their main primary mail servers get on that list. But the good thing is when that happens to the big primary mail servers, they're usually very quick to resolve the situation.
Okay, so if this is happening to you, often the sender gets a bounce back saying it's been blocked by a filter.
Yeah. I mean, certainly best practice. If we're going to bounce, certainly for us at 1300 Web Pro, if we bounce an email because it's deemed spam, we'll always send a bounce back to the sender just to notify them of that. Some people don't. Sometimes they just get silently dropped, but we would view that as a not an ideal situation.
Okay, so if you do determine that the sender is on a blacklist, what are the steps you take to get off?
So if you're just a regular home user using a Big Pond internet connection or INET or whoever you happen to use, I'd say the first thing to do is call your support provider. If you happen to use like a corporate network, like here at 1300 Web Pro, we've got a dozen computers in the office here. So we actually run our own little server internally here just for our people in Toowoomba. We would contact our IT provider and say, hey, I think my IP address has been blacklisted. Can you run a check on that IP? And very simply by going to mxtoolbox.com, which we'll put the link on the screen, and it will actually tell you if you're on any of the common blacklists and in fact where to go to request being delisted.
Okay, so there's a service that helps you.
Yep.
That's pretty good. Another thing that could block your email from being sent is the quality of the content in the email. Can you describe some of the content issues that might be there that are preventing somebody picking it up?
Yeah, so Brendan, normally if you're on a blacklist, you're going to have a huge amount of problems sending to a huge number of people, and it'll typically be all emails sent to a recipient. So if you're getting blocked, if you're getting every message sent to my personal email at 1300webpro.com.au and also Brendan and all of our emails, you just cannot send an email to 1300 Web Pro, good chance you're on a blacklist. But what we also sometimes have is we also run scans on every individual message and apply an algorithm to guess whether it's apply an educated guess as to whether it's a legitimate email. So we might look at things like the number of dollar signs in the subject line, the number of misspellings, whether it was signed off as regards James or just left blank, whether it's something like hot travel offer Nigeria, free money, dollar signs, send now.
Enter details here.
Enter details,
yep.
BSBN account, ATO, Combank. That's probably a subject line that's going to be challenged sending it through, and I'm guessing someone's now going to try and send that to me as well. So look, the things that the algorithm looks for, there's hundreds of parameters, but as I said, generally it's just down to content, the quality of the content. And if you look at an email and say, if I'm a computer that can't interpret things other than just to look at things like the composition of the email, am I going to think this is spam? Is it just an empty email with an attachment, no subject line, no body? Quite possibly spam.
Yep. So if you keep the subject line normal and the language in the email natural, you're not likely to have that problem.
Correct. And the best thing to do, so that's again, if you generally can send to me, but there's one email that's being problematic, I would just rephrase it a little bit. Rework the content a little bit. If there's a subject if there's no subject line, add one in. So yeah, if you're getting a lot of email blocked to a lot of senders consistently, look for blacklists. If you're getting the individual message blocked, look at the message content.
Right. And finally, the third way it might be blocked is if you're using, say, Outlook and you're trying to send an email to 50 or 60 people. What problems might that cause?
Yeah, absolutely, Brendan. So again, the way that these blacklists identify what IP address should be on the blacklist is to look at things like the volume of emails being sent out, and again, whether they're individualized emails or whether they're what they deem unsolicited commercial email. So if you're going to send out a newsletter, like for example, we send these web chats out regularly, make sure you use a proper email marketing system or a system designed to dispatch those emails in bulk. We do things like authenticate the email, so very clearly identify that we are the sender and make it very easy for someone to unsubscribe. If you don't like these emails, please go to the bottom and click unsubscribe. Those things are inherent in an email marketing system, whereas if you just go into Outlook and just BCC everybody in, that's going to end you on a blacklist guaranteed. So if you're going to use email as a marketing mechanism, we think that's probably the best dollar value you can spend, dollar for dollar. But make sure that you get proper advice from someone like ourselves on how to use a good email marketing system that'll authenticate, that'll use SPF records, have unsubscribes, send individual emails per person, personalized rather than one big bulk one with BCCs, all these things that you can't just do via Outlook.
There you go. So there's 3 reasons why you mightn't be receiving the emails that are being sent to you. So if that's happening to you, give us a call at 1300 Web Pro and we'll see if we can help.